You are listening to the Kentucky X-Files with hosts Dennis Mays, Tyler Stewart, and Josh Gibbs. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, so you never miss an episode. Now, on to our show.
Something that would be in the context of the supernatural.
He described it as being a gray, silver-looking, upright bipedal creature, dragging a deer out of that cave and going up the hill with it.
Where he goes, hey, I got a question for you. He goes, do you believe in demons?
And it takes one big step and vanishes. I'm like, oh my God, that was a Bigfoot.
And look at these pictures of this white creature.
Something 7'3" to 8 foot tall.
Right.
That, let's say it like.
And I'm telling you right now, if this was a bear, then this bear was standing on his hind legs, and he was running like a man. No, this wasn't no bear.
Now, when it stood up, that's when I knew it was a dog then.
Welcome to the Kentucky X-Files Midweek Mysteries episode.
This is our podcast.
We promised to try to do this, and a lot of you guys reached out and said that we want a midweek show. We definitely want a show that we can get us to the next episode or whatever. So this is it for you guys on YouTube. You get to see all of this.
This is our podcast.
This is that's right. That is right. It is.
Thank you.
And for you guys listening, if you if you're content to just agree that we have faces for radio, then let's just go with that. Listen to it, if you want.
We can totally go back to just audio.
Yeah. But anyway, so we got some interesting stuff.
Yeah.
I know we've been talking about it on and off for the last week or so.
Yeah. The story we're going to talk about, we really need to handle with kid gloves because it's very recent and it's very tragic.
Yep.
But it's also definitely falls in the X-File theme, and it is very mysterious.
Absolutely.
So what we're going to talk about is a family of 3 and their dog who mysteriously passed away on a trail near the Sierra. Was it Sierra Trails?
It's the Savage Lundy Trail.
Yeah, Savage Lundy Trailhead in Mariposa County, California.
Yep. Which is the circumstances around it are oddly enough, and at some point here, you should see a graphic of an article of what we're talking about. Should pop up magically. I have a habit of saying I'm going to do this, and it never happens. So I got to remember to do that. If you guys haven't heard the story yet, the circumstances are crazy.
Yeah.
In my opinion, what was the big thing? I mean, it's a family deceased on a trail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. With their dog laying there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were reported missing. I think that Monday night, and they were found like Tuesday morning on this trail, and it shows in the report report that there was no trauma.
Yeah. To quote the sheriff was there was no smoking gun, there was no suicide note, there was no trauma. There was no signs of defense or offense. Mm-hmm. It was just 3 people and a dog.
That just randomly.
Yeah. And in the state of California, and the federals closed that trailhead down due to unknown circumstances.
Yeah, I saw
I think
that.
They put hazard.
Unknown hazard. Yeah, you're correct.
Which is wild. I know there has been forest fires and stuff raging all over the place out there. So I know some trailheads were closed because of that.
Right.
Me, I'm always kind of on the trail of the big guy, so I found it interesting that this has happened right by where the Sierra sounds were recorded. Mm-hmm. And for anybody out there who's got a map handy, or I could make one appear here somewhere, the Sequoia Park and the Sierra Park are literally right next to each other. So these are hot spots for not just Sasquatch, also for UFO. There's been some like haunting, like orbs and spirit stuff, like ghosts and whatnot recorded. Strange sounds. If you haven't heard the Sierra sounds, you definitely should look into that. That's, to me, there's just hearing that is haunting, But the circumstances are odd. And then I went digging. There's actually a few other people who have went missing in other parks at the same time. And what happened with me was I was searching for more missing people in that park. And I didn't really come up with nothing. I don't know if you guys did or not, but I didn't really find much. But when I started jumping to the other national parks, because there's, all the way Pacific Northwest, it's just parks, giant parks. And everyone, I just kept finding recently, as recent as August, this year, missing person, missing person.
And that's when this happened, was in August as well.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it did just,
It's just so strange, too, because, the dog. You can explain the adults passing and then the child passing because the child would be helpless.
Yeah.
But the dog, what kept the dog there?
Yeah.
So something had to kill all of them.
And it, pretty quickly to keep them in that, like you said, if it was some type of hazard, wouldn't the dog run away or some sort like that?
Right.
You would probably, if anything, they would have found the dog farther away.
And the case is they actually found the mom further away.
Oh.
That's the weird part. Yeah. The father, the child, and the dog were grouped together, and the mother was further up the trail.
Yeah, I think in the port they said that there could have been gas or something from a mine shaft.
And they eliminated that.
They eliminated that.
And the toxicology reports on the bodies came back with nothing.
Yeah. Because they have posted signs through that area saying about that, the hazards or something of that.
Yeah.
So I don't
Didn't one of you guys say something about an algae bloom or something?
That's highly suspected through all of the articles I read was the algae bloom. But in that same thing is I found that the state of California has never had a confirmed case of the toxic algae killing an adult human.
When you, I think, was it you that brought up the algae bloom earlier this week when we were talking about it? I can't remember.
It was Tyler was the one that.
Yeah, because that's what they said after they ruled out the bloom.
No, they ruled out the gas.
They ruled out the gas, and then I said that there was that algae bloom. That was another factor, but then it comes back that there was no anything in there. The how you say that toxicology report.
Yeah.
So what is it? Something that's not showing up on it?
Right.
'Cause
I saw the reason it when you said that it clicked was because I was actually watching another outdoor channel that I like, and he was actually filming salmon and stuff, and he was like, yeah, don't mind the water, there's some kind of algae bloom or something, and I'm like, okay, so that's right in that same area.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, okay, so the bloom is there, but
it
didn't really seem like he was very concerned with it.
The bloom was confirmed a month prior to the incident.
Okay.
But what doesn't make much sense about the bloom is these people were outdoorsy. They moved to the area because they wanted to be outdoorsy. The algae blooms, from my understanding, is that they all kind of smell like sulfur, like sewer gas, a burnt match or something like that. That's the kind of stuff that would keep somebody that's really outdoorsy away from the water itself.
Yeah. Well, what the hell happened to them?
I don't know. That's why I brought this article to the.
Were they even near? I guess I didn't get that far in the article. Were they found near any of that algae?
So it took me a lot of digging to finally figure out the correlation between the two things. And yeah, there is a river that runs through there.
Okay.
It's fairly close. Within quarter of a mile from where they were found, I believe is what it is.
Okay.
But even then, it's not like the algae is going to produce enough gas in an open environment.
Yeah.
It's not like a manure pit. Like, people die in manure pits all the time because of the gas.
Yeah.
There's so much concentrate, and they don't die outside the manure pit. They die in the manure pit.
That is really, really strange, too. The area that it happened in it's strange to me because of so much other weird stuff that happens out there.
I know it would be different, but would a toxicology report know that, like, if somebody died in a manure pit, they would know, like, oh, that's where they died?
I would say so because of the methane gas in the system.
That would do.
Yeah.
So I wonder what the toxicology screen would have told about this particular algae. I just don't know why they would say it if there was no confirmed cases.
Well, and that's because it was just a suspect. You know, that they at this point, I think they're grasping at straws, and they have to.
Yeah.
You can't just leave something out in the news as crazy as this story is.
Yeah, unexplained. Yeah.
Completely unexplained without throwing something in there to keep people calm.
Right.
You know, there's a little bit of crowd control, I believe,
Wild, man.
in using the algae bloom.
So yeah, like what gets me is that how like, okay, I had like a scenario. The only thing that I kept saying, like, the dog like got something out of the water. They started doing that, but like you said, there was nothing in the toxicology screen.
And you know, with that scenario, you know, there's going to be certain symptoms from being sick from the toxic bloom.
Yeah.
It affects your gastrointestinal systems. You're going to vomit. You're going to have diarrhea. It's going to affect you
So
in
it's
that
going
sort
to
of way.
show stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be obvious that you're dealing with it.
Yeah. Okay. So there would have been side effects that they would have noticed at the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but there was nothing, not a thing.
And they were incredibly close to their home.
Oh, okay.
That's the other thing too, is
Wow.
that they bought the house to be closer to the trails, so they weren't far from home. So it's not like if we just decided to up and go camping somewhere and weren't aware of all the warnings.
Yeah.
You know, these people purchased this place to be more outdoorsy.
And they've been there quite a bit. I don't know if they disclosed how long they've been in
Couple
that
of
area.
years.
Yeah, because they even interviewed friends, people at local businesses. Like, they've been there for a while. So
And it's my understanding that they didn't just buy one place; they bought
Oh,
multiple
yeah.
properties.
yeah, they were
So,
investors.
Yeah, they came out there with guns blazing
Yeah, I think
for that area.
I think they said that he's like a software designer
Wow.
or something of that nature.
Yeah. It's made a
That's-
terribly tragic event.
Oh
It
yeah.
really is.
But it's just the weirdness of how it all happens.
Yeah.
You know,
It's definitely one of them things where it stands out because just the circumstances around it, you know, and you can't make any string connect on this.
right?
I can't figure out how to, you know, I mean, obviously there's investigators and there's people working on this,
Yeah.
but it makes you wonder. I mean, if they're not getting anywhere,
Right.
what the hell happened?
And I
you
would
know?
like to also point out that this episode was recorded before we have anything from the necropsy report
Yeah.
from the dog. So we
Okay.
don't know the report of the dog's death yet. We just know that as of right now, the toxicologies from the autopsies showed nothing.
Okay, yeah, that's true. So things might change by the time you hear this.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, like
hopefully we'll have some kind of answers. You know.
it's like crazy. It's like this situation's just like those like people that live like they stay out in the woods, like that's like almost their home, like, and they go missing.
Yeah.
It's like this person technically lives out here. How can this person live?
Yeah.
And these people, like you said, they moved there to be closer to those trails,
Right.
and they live there and they've been on those trails. Like it had like either something was exposed to them over and over.
And-
It's like you can't even like grasp at anything right now because there's like nothing to hold on to.
Well, and on top of that too is that there was no other deceased animals found
Yeah, that is weird.
within reasonable distance. You know,
Yeah.
nothing else. There was no dead deer, no dead raccoons, no dead mountain lions, no dead rabbits, no dead coyote. I mean, I could name all the animals from the area, but nothing
Yeah.
else was found dead besides the mother, the father, the child, and the dog.
It's wild, man.
It's so strange.
It's crazy, and hopefully we get some answers
Yeah.
soon to close that book. Because much as a story like that reaches out to us, it is tragic, and hopefully for the best for all the family involved, and the relatives and loved ones of the departed.
Yeah, I knew this was going to be a heavy one to talk about because
Yeah.
of the recentness
Yeah.
and the parties involved, being that the child and the dog and the young couple. It's
Yeah.
tragic. It's absolutely tragic. But it is
Yeah.
just. I hope that somebody listening to this maybe has another story from somewhere else
Yeah.
they can tell us about the same thing. You know,
Oh, yeah, that'd be fantastic. Also, to the other missing people who haven't turned up yet,
Yeah.
hoping for the best for them. I'm
Yeah,
hoping that
for
they
sure,
find them safe and sound and get them back to their families. Josh, I do have something interesting. I hope you didn't already know this because I know you like the aliens and the UFO
Right.
stuff, and I found this out, and I'm really hoping right now that I'm gonna throw this at him and he's gonna be like, "What?" Because I spent a week researching this to make sure I wasn't handing you some useless knowledge. I found out this. The United States we've been building nuclear weapons for a long time.
Right.
Okay, and I know you know the correlation between the nuclear sites and the UFO activity. Okay. What I didn't know until recently was that we've never had a successful detonation in space.
Really?
Not even one. And to be quite honest, I was like, okay, well, maybe it's hard to get a rocket, out into space. Turns out it's not. We do it all the time, except for the ones that we have bombs attached to get deactivated. No shit. This
Like
blew
they
my
just
mind.
lose power, or
No, they don't just lose power. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so something in the atmospheres is messing with them. It's messing them up. Yeah, turns out that's kind of true. It's just not a natural thing. It's something in a flying thing. And from what I understand, this hasn't happened just once. This happens a lot. Every time they've tried to shoot a rocket into space, a nuclear, because they want to do a test fire, They do it all the time. Well, they used to. I don't know if they're still doing it, but they probably are. I mean, come on, it's the government. So they shoot this thing up, right? And all these people who were there say in their testimonies, something came out of nowhere and flew up as this thing is leaving. It gets to lower orbit, right? This thing flies up, shoots something at the warhead, changes directions, shoots something at the warhead again, changes directions, shoots something at the warhead again, comes up here, shoots something, and then takes off, and the warhead literally just fizzles out and falls back to Earth. And it doesn't just happen once. It's every single time. So I'm sitting there like, okay, so somebody doesn't want us blowing up shit in space. And then, I can't remember the guy's name, documentary just came out. It's all about the disclosure. I think it's called Unacknowledged.
That sounds right.
Or Acknowledged. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
somebody will, Anyway, had to fix the camera. Sorry about that. All I was saying is it hasn't happened just once.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, they've tried multiple times to get a nuclear bomb into space to see what happens, to see how it reacts, how it, what it does. And every single time, it gets disarmed by somebody. And I'm like, I don't think we even have that technology.
That's pretty wild.
Isn't it?
You have to send me some links to that. I'd love to look into that.
Dude, it's amazing.
Because it never occurred to me to even think about them trying to do that, really, because, there's such a lack of oxygen in space. What's to explode?
Right.
You
It should explode, but it should, what would that cause? And another question I would throw out is what would it do to cause that much concern by a third party?
I was just about to say that. Why are they?
Does it
worried
affect
about
time
it?
and space in a way that we don't want happening, or whatever?
I don't know.
It's amazing. It's the guy who does the documentary. Again, I forget his name. Sorry. Maybe I can add it in here somewhere. But he actually said in his research, especially with the disclosed documents, he doesn't have much evidence that they are hostile.
Mm-hmm.
But he has a lot of evidence to lean towards that they are concerned with our hostility.
I would feel like
Yeah, I
could
can understand that.
Yeah, I
We're
can
assholes to each other.
Yeah.
I think I'm quoting you on that one. Was we're terrible to each other. Why would?
Oh yeah, we're fucking. If anybody comes to this planet, they're just gonna say, "Why you guys like this? This is stupid."
Yeah, and it got me all excited because I was like, oh, dude, I think I found something cool that Josh is gonna be really excited about,
That's pretty wild.
And
I
then
like it.
I started digging more, and then I found out there's like a whole list of astronauts, retired astronauts that are all literally coming out and like, yeah, there's a base on the moon, and I don't think it belongs to us.
Well, that goes to the thing
like-
with that whole dark side of the moon
Yeah,
thing.
well, they even said, they were like, when you say us, do you mean like, like
America?
United States?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, like,
think it's Russia?
we don't build buildings like this at all on the planet. And I'm like, holy crap. And then there was something, it's weird because I used to research this because I was really interested in it years ago. And then it just like went media black, is the obelisks.
Yeah.
You ever heard of this? The
yeah,
obelisks?
the pillars in the sky or something.
Yeah, there's like what is it? Phobos? Am I saying that wrong? Phobos. It's a moon. It's a little potato-shaped moon that goes around Mars.
Mm-hmm.
On this moon is a perfect obelisk.
Like,
and
it's in like straight lines. Like
it's a perfect like tower. It's like, it's like symmetrical. Like, it's not like rocks.
Excited.
I am really excited. It's not like, rock formations.
Yeah.
and
The other
stuff.
thing that went totally media black was the Dark Knight satellite. You don't hear anything about that anymore.
What the hell?
I don't even think I know what that one is.
You never heard about the Dark Knight satellite?
No.
How long ago? Is this camera going to shut down on me again?
I hope not.
So there was
That one's going to cover us, though, if it does.
Right. There was a strange, very, very black object that was orbiting Earth that, like, didn't reflect light. It was just far enough away they couldn't get a clear picture of it. But it was orbiting like a satellite does.
That's the one they said that it doesn't move like...
Doesn't move like a...
I remember that
yeah.
now. It didn't move like a
like a
meteor
rock.
or
Yeah,
rock.
it doesn't move like a rock. It moves like it's got propulsion.
Yeah, because...
But it's orbiting.
Wasn't it correcting itself?
Yes. It was
Yeah,
correcting
dude.
the orbit. It was speeding up, slowing down. Yeah.
This is like weird for me because I don't know, like, because there's so many people out there that are like super denying this.
Yeah.
These like
Except for the government now.
Yeah, except for the government. The one one person that you'd think that would do it.
And
They're like, "We're
hundreds
sorry."
of fighter pilots, astronauts, military personnel.
But like, even like talking to don't ever bring this stuff up to Elon Musk.
Oh, yeah.
He thinks everybody's a retard about that. Like, he's like, there's no real evidence for
Yeah.
her to even think about it. So why even bother talking about it?
Yeah, see,
Like,
I gotta
I-
disagree.
like, I'm not trying to like he's
but-
like saying like everybody's like stupid about it, but he just doesn't like. There's more pressing things.
You know what
Dude,
it is? He's so into, like, owning space travel that he's just mad because there's possibly somebody else out there doing it.
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, like aliens.
Oh.
He's probably sitting there. He knows there's
Well, yeah,
aliens.
like-
He's like,
How arrogant do you have to be to
Well,
assume?
no.
that we're
Apparently,
it?
he's been. I haven't seen the tweets, but he's been like talking about the end of the world. Like, he thinks that we're at the end.
As we
Almost.
know it.
I don't know how close, but apparently he thinks that we're at the end.
I know that's another big following out there that's that believes that. But hey,
feel like
I don't
that's
know.
I feel like we have those types of people every year, though.
No.
Like, it's on the Mayan calendar. Oh, it's written in my grass that it's
Yeah.
gonna.
I just, in regards to the disclosure stuff, I'm actually getting interested. Like, I'm starting to want to like dig more because the whole the missile thing that blew my mind.
Yeah.
Like, I was like so excited I couldn't hardly sleep.
That's
like-
incredible.
I was like, dude, really? And then the more I looked into it, it was like, yeah, no, really, like, oh, holy shit. And I'm sitting there like I'm reading this stuff and I'm like, no, come on. And it's like, yeah, this general who was he was there and saw it, and he literally turns and he's like, like one of the people who are like in control of things or monitoring it. He's like, what was that? And they're like, if it wasn't you, it's not us.
Right.
And he's like, that wasn't you guys screwing around? And they're like, no.
Okay.
Like, why would we screw around with this $1 billion?
Yeah.
It was amazing to me because I'm like, dude. Okay, if the most smartest
around.
the smartest people in the world and the most powerful military people in the world, if they're like, what the hell was that, dude? We should all be concerned.
Yeah.
It's
like, I'm just like bad. Like, if a general like would say like, was that you? Was you screwing around?
don't you do this to me, Bobby.
I'm just like thinking like, Why would I do that?
Why would I do that to the missile, guys? So yeah, I think that's really interesting. And then the one of the astronauts, I can't remember what mission he was on, but he was talking about. He's like, wait till people start asking about those obelisks. He's like, and there's a bunch of them. So I thought it was really interesting. Hopefully you guys out there. I don't remember how long we wanted to make this, but it definitely went over. And that's another thing we're good for.
Yeah.
We set out to make a 15, 20 minute, little midweek episode, and I'm sure we definitely blew past that. I can't see it. There's a glare, but so yeah, maybe we should wrap this up, and see you guys on the next one. Yeah. Oh my God.
This was the
terrible.
Kentucky X-Files Midweek Mysteries.
This is our podcast.
That's right, buddy. So, see you guys later.
Bye.
You